The late 15th and early 16th centuries witnessed a period of unprecedented exploration, driven by a thirst for knowledge, wealth, and new trade routes to the east. European powers, eager to break free from the constraints of established trade networks, looked westward across the Atlantic. This era, known as the Age of Exploration, marked a turning point in human history. It was a time of daring voyages, groundbreaking discoveries, and the gradual shift of power from east to west. The world was about to change forever. Portugal, under the patronage of Prince Henry the Navigator, had already begun to explore the coast of Africa. Their goal was to find a sea route to the East Indies, the source of valuable spices. The successful circumnavigation of Africa by Vasco da Gama in 1498 opened up new possibilities for trade and exploration. This success further fueled the ambitions of other European nations, including England. The race to discover and claim new lands had begun. England, initially lagging behind its European rivals in the race for exploration, soon realized the potential benefits of securing new trade routes and establishing overseas colonies. The English crown, motivated by the promise of wealth and power, began to encourage and finance expeditions across the Atlantic. Merchants, eager to bypass the established trade routes controlled by the Italians and the Ottomans, saw an opportunity to establish direct trade links with the East. Competition with Spain, a dominant force in the New World after Columbus's voyages, also fueled England's desire to establish a presence overseas. The English saw an opportunity to challenge Spanish dominance and claim a share of the wealth flowing from the Americas. This competition, often played out on the high seas, would shape the course of global politics for centuries to come. The stage was set for England's entry into the race for colonies and empire. One of the key figures in England's early exploration efforts was John Cabot, an Italian navigator sailing under the English flag. Commissioned by King Henry VII, Cabot embarked on 2 voyages across the Atlantic in 1497 and 1498. His first voyage, aboard the Matthew, led him to land somewhere on the coast of North America, likely in what is now Newfoundland, Canada. This marked the first recorded European exploration of the North American mainland since the Vikings. Although Cabot's voyages did not yield the immediate riches that the English crown had hoped for, they were significant for several reasons. They provided England with a claim to land in North America, a claim that would later form the basis for English colonization of the region. His explorations also expanded geographical knowledge and opened up new fishing grounds off the coast of Newfoundland, which would prove to be a valuable resource for English fishermen for centuries. Cabot's voyages, though less celebrated than those of Columbus, were a crucial first step for England in its journey towards becoming a global power. Section 4. Early Footprints in the New World, Roanoke and Jamestown. Following Cabot's voyages, England turned its attention to establishing permanent settlements in the New World. The first attempt, the Roanoke Colony, founded in 1585 on an island off the coast of present-day North Carolina, ended in failure. The colonists, faced with harsh conditions and dwindling supplies, mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind only the word Croatoan carved into a post. The fate of the Roanoke colonists remains one of the enduring mysteries of colonial history. Undeterred by the Roanoke disaster, England made another attempt at colonization in 1607 with the establishment of Jamestown, Virginia. Named after King James I, Jamestown was England's first successful permanent settlement in North America. The early years of the colony were marked by hardship, disease, and conflict with the native Powhatan Confederacy. The discovery of tobacco as a cash crop proved to be a turning point, bringing much-needed prosperity to the struggling colony. Jamestown's success paved the way for further English colonization along the eastern coast of North America, laying the foundation for what would become the United States. Section 5. Encounters and Consequences. The Impact on Indigenous Peoples. The arrival of Europeans in the Americas had a profound and often devastating impact on the indigenous populations. Disease brought over from Europe ravaged native communities who lacked immunity to these new illnesses. Smallpox, measles, and influenza swept through the Americas, decimating entire populations. The introduction of European weapons and warfare tactics also disrupted traditional power structures and led to conflict between different native groups. The arrival of Europeans also led to the displacement of indigenous peoples from their ancestral lands. As European settlements expanded, native communities were pushed off their land, often through violence and coercion. The introduction of new agricultural practices and livestock by the Europeans also had a significant impact on the environment, leading to deforestation, soil erosion, and the displacement of native plant and animal species. The consequences of these early encounters continue to shape the relationship between indigenous peoples and the descendants of European colonists to this day. Section 6. Navigating the Unknown: Tools of the Trade. England's early voyages of exploration and colonization would not have been possible without significant advancements in maritime technology. The development of the caravel, a fast and maneuverable sailing ship, revolutionized sea travel. The caravel's lateen sails allowed it to sail closer to the wind, making it ideal for exploring the coastlines of Africa and the Americas. Improvements in navigation were equally crucial. The astrolabe, an instrument used to determine latitude by measuring the altitude of the sun or stars, became an indispensable tool for navigators. The magnetic compass, already in use for centuries, became more reliable and accurate, allowing sailors to determine their direction even in cloudy conditions. Advances in cartography, with the creation of more accurate maps and charts, also played a vital role in guiding explorers across vast oceans. These technological innovations, combined with the courage and determination of explorers, made it possible for England to project its power across the globe. Section 7. A Legacy Forged: The Birth of an Empire. England's early overseas ventures, though often fraught with danger and uncertainty, laid the groundwork for the later British Empire. The establishment of colonies in North America, driven by a complex interplay of economic, political, and religious factors, marked the beginning of England's transformation into a global power. The wealth generated from trade and resources extracted from its colonies fueled England's economic and military growth, allowing it to assert its dominance on the world stage. The lessons learned from these early voyages, both successes and failures, shaped England's colonial policies and strategies in the centuries that followed. The encounters with indigenous populations, though often marked by conflict and exploitation, also led to cultural exchange and the introduction of new ideas and goods to Europe. The dawn of England's empire was a period of profound change, marking the beginning of a new era in global history, one that would have far-reaching consequences for both England and the world it sought to dominate.